So part 2, which will also decipher the white light and all that good stuff. The cream of the crap, the good stuff you want. So here's this deal. They sedated me, put me back. I jolt up back in my body. I tell my girl I was just taken, and don't mind me, I have the shakes because I need to process these 5 minutes before I left the ship coming here that I was allowed to remember, because usually they wipe me so it's not so rupturous. So I'm standing at my dresser and going and I'm shaking, and I know exactly why that is, because I have to process that I was elsewhere physically, full contact, fully aware, and no dream state. I have memories of that ship and where and what to walk around. Like, you would show me this, I could draw it up. Maybe one day I'd put that into a storyline or a storybook. It would be like the craziest science fiction if I put everything that I have experienced, that I haven't even mentioned yet, together. How my brain weaves together things where I'm realizing it gets, the more conscious I get, the more trippier it gets. It's kind of like LSD constant, but you're not tripping anymore. This is your higher sense, and I'll tell you how this goes. I'm at the cash register, see this guy at this machine, and I'll be like, okay, you might have problems with that machine. The guy's very upset because I'm precogging that, not knowing actually that I'm precogging it. And he says, what do you want? I haven't even put my card in. And I'm like, but this is how it happens when you get psychic beyond others. When you see somebody and you're like, hey, you might not want to cross that road right there because you might trip. Maybe you want to go over here. And then look at you like, did I ask you for your input? Did I ask you to tell me where to go? And then to show you that I'm in power and I can do what I want to do. You cannot. They go on the wrong route and they trip, and there's a wrong path. They say on the Buddha there's no wrong path. There's a way you can go about things complicated and needing more effort to come to the evolution of understanding where you're going, and there's a way that makes it easier and effortless for you to go there. So there are differences. There is a right and just path, and there's a path where, like, you're not willing to learn. You're not, like I said, we're also here to redeem ourselves. If you don't work for bringing your brothers and sisters with everything there is home, then this will be read to you, which will ultimately bring me to the white light, the fake white light and the real white light, and what's beyond that. And that's past any magic. Before you want to attain any magic, people want to study, I don't know, what do I hear? Chaos magic, which I don't recommend. Chaos, what does that mean? We want structure. We want phase conjugate things, harmonious things. Chaos is suspicious. It's a lot of tricknology there. I don't trust that. That's just my feeling. Enochian magic. Be cautious. That's like reading machine language from the 1970s. You see all the coding, but you cannot make objects appear or reappear or perform 100% spells that you know of what you're actually using. They say it's an angelic script. I say this is a modality that was used by interdimensional beings that sold themselves as angels. Watch what these agendas are. When Enoch was communicating with his masters, was a modality of communication. A lot of that stuff is replica, copied. They don't have the crystals, nor the alignment, nor the machinery, nor the constellation of that time when this was fully functional. So you're using an old holographic computer language that's not fully accessible, because nobody on earth really fully embodies that. And I say that when you embody magic, that is just what I truly feel is, and you can open a stargate. You can make that stargate visible to others. You can walk in and out of worlds like Merlin, go into Avalon, which is not a magical city. Avalon is another star system. So it's never dawn. But that goes into deeper science. There's this one woman they call Anastasia that for times on end they have no idea where she goes. She lives in the woods and is all natural and can can just leave. You heard of the fairy tales where, full by the third red moon. This is adjusted by ETs from the other side to make sure that we follow rules. So check ancient Arabian tales, German folklore. it's all in there, where two kids get in a boat and they're told at a certain moon, could be a pink moon, could be a red moon, could be a blue moon, and a certain date in a month of the year, to go by the little pond with a bridge that was built in ancient times. And there are gods that will appear when they go there by midnight. This is placed that way because they know that average humans wouldn't go there by midnight. So the two kids listen to the message that was given to them. By midnight, they appear at the bridge. Under the bridge, the gods say, pass through, and you're in another world. There are rules and regulations for passing, coming, and going. So these kids go and disappear, and they're literally on another Earth. These dimensional pockets are still here, storylines are still here, this is still accessible, but we forgot to access our own magic. The magic that we want to access, which will in a minute bring me to the white light, will give you an orientation of what's actually real and what's not real. And we have spirit guides. You can go to an esoteric dog and pony show, enjoy, have fun. Everybody is the most flamboyant, everybody knows the most, and all of that. Your spirit guides will tell you who is real, who has heart, and who is here for sales, and who has no magic. It'll be evident, because things around them will not work. They might make some money. They won't be super successful. They might have an influence. They might have a following, but they're not moving objects yet. Some claim they know stargates, they're not going to tell. I mean, I heard that over and over, that people know stargates and entrance and portals and waves. And when I do hikes with people, some of those people can't even tell me where it is, nor can they feel it. I mean, I can measure a vortex with an EMF detector. It's that simple. Meaning the magnetic correlation, the magnetic spin that comes out of the ground. You can use an EMF detector and your compass, and you can even buy a very expensive EMF and RF detector, up to $400. They can get into very, very fine frequencies. So you find that in the desert, where sometimes you find signals that are 9.6 megahertz, and you wonder where that comes from, and you see no cell tower in sight. Must be satellite. There's things here that you can measure, but if you don't know, you need an instrument to find it and where to go. You wouldn't know it, you wouldn't see it, you wouldn't feel it, you wouldn't detect it. So a lot of people talk that theoretical stuff and have no proof. So when somebody tells me they levitated, I say, show me. You know, somebody makes claims they can bilocate invisible, I say, show me. I leave myself open to the possibility in time and understanding that anything that we can receive, conceive, preconceive, download, we can build over time, or find a modality to make it work. How weird it is. First we used horses to pull a carriage, now we use a motor that we still give horsepower, that we measure in horsepower. That's the measure we go by, because we have no idea. And from that it's gonna go battery, and from that it's gonna go infinite, free energy. It's coming in. It just needs some time for us to accept that. Because even if somebody has a system, the populace is so resistant that it'll take 50 years for it to be released. So now we say, thank God for YouTube, no more Hermetic science just for me. If you want to study Hermetics, get in the books. But Hermetics is also out there. If you know Hermetic science, most of these magicians lack telepathic connection with those who know. And if you know somebody is in that knowledge bank, you make that connection and you talk. And it's not all talk, you have things that you can do. For me, I'm a master builder. I've been one in Egypt, I've been one in Atlantis, and I've been one on other planets. I can build things that can change the modulation of all of this here, beginning with my key that literally changes your reality, and that can be measured, it can be repeated, and it's like the Philip K. Dick said, truth is what refuses to go away, whether you believe it or not. Yeah, at some point I will upload the scientific data for my photonic devices of the biophotonic emission rate, for people who need to see the digital print and proof of what this actually does, which we're now developing further into also a telephone chip that you can put in a petri dish, and it exponentially increases the cell growth and DNA repair by 21 to 22% measurably. It's a 3-layered thing. I'm working on that now, soon available in my store. Also, it always works. You can put that in your petri dish of mung bean sprouts and they grow 2 times higher. And you can test that at home. That's just a side story. Now to the main part that I wanted to break down. That somebody said to me that they believe this white light is a lie. That when you die, near-death experience. I know it seems like a leap from this topic to that topic, but it's all connected. Just let it simmer in and get in, and then feel what this actually does to your consciousness. So question everything. So I died once. I'm in my room and I'm dying. And I lose this earth. I'm leaving my body, typical deal. And I pass into the white light. And I will tell you a story about the white light. And it's this neon bright white light, you know, and then I remember they say you're going to meet your ancestors or your relatives, your loved ones, your life is going to be reviewed, and then you're going to go back to your body. Somehow that didn't work for me. And I don't know how I knew this or how this worked. But I had an idea. I said, let me take a detour here. And then this white light comes, and I'm like, nah, there's something wrong here. I don't believe in this construct. It doesn't feel right. It's like, and I'm not giving myself up. I'm owning my memory of, I came from Earth, I'm going somewhere, probably not in my body. This is like near death, but let's hold this consciousness and not forget that you are the essence of that body. You are it, you're here right now. Not like, oh, I'm dead and then, you know, I'm so gullible, let it all happen. Even outside of the body, you don't have to let that happen. You have control, not egoic control, you have divine control. So, when I question that, with the light just kind of went like, as if something in the matrix didn't work right, and it is like boom, and then I'm like exit right, and I'm going in a completely different direction. The tension disappears, and this light is all of a sudden golden. It's like warm. It's not bright and white and blinding. It's just, it fulfills me, and I'm all it, and it's with me, and I'm in this golden thing, and I feel like I'm flying into the sun. And I'm going through the sun gate within myself. And this is when my trip began 10 years ago. And I'm going past the golden light where everything is revealed, everything is clear, everything is heard, everything is known, nothing needs to be established, everything is. Very interesting place to be. And I turn around, didn't see my relatives, life wasn't reviewed. You're forgiven when you go up there, but you have to, how can I put it? You have to work it. You have to want to be worth it. You have to choose to be a chosen one, and so be it. And I turned around, come back in my body. I realized that the apartment that I was in Berlin is a sacred place, a sacred space, because it's for my vessel to maintain. And I look up in the apartment, and it looks like a cathedral, so I understand how churches are being built. That has nothing to do with religion. Churches are being built. These are fractal constructs from the higher dimensional crystalline realms where we're from. Our buildings kind of look like that, and they're all holy. Holy not as in worship, they're complete. They're based on this construct of the sun, which is gold, and gold is the perfect fractal. All materials, all fractals on this planet, look under a microscope, have a smidgen of not being complete. And gold is everything complete, nothing missing. And we're here as a soul to become golden again. That is the angelic version in the highest form before going back to source. And that is God. That is the highest version and the highest aspect of you. And as I'm explaining that, the wind picks up, interestingly. So never pray to something outside of you. You become the prey. It is to worship and cherish and appreciate the self, which is you, the cells, which is you. There is, and I say this might sound dogmatic, one higher self, one source. In between are aspects of resistance of they think they are who they are when they're not. So when somebody says you need a dark and a light and all of this, constructs of the mind that dilute you into the Maya of that must be in order for you to get that. Suffering doesn't have to be by choice. The best protection for you is awareness. So there is no dark self and light self and night side and bright side. All of this is just schizophrenic dilution for the mind. There's only the highest absolute light version of you in all its divinity with all the awareness from source. You're part of that. On a long stream down of all the lives you've lived, then this subconscious, conscious, and the super consciousness. And then the ego that thinks I'm this powerful dude, I'm 72 dimensional, I have these plates here, I shoot rockets out of my crown chakra, I can walk over trees, I can fly and levitate. None of this is here. And a lot of people are still stuck in the astral realm, which is a dimensional in-between realm to help you generate and create what you need to manifest. Yeah, astral is a little bit out of control because everything goes. From good to bad to ugly, everything goes. But you'll see if you bring bad from the astral, it'll fall apart. If you bring divine from the astral, divinity, it'll stay. Sustainability. It maintains, it continues its existence. So anything that is not based on love will fractally disassembled in little units, and you have to form again or come back again and do it again. Certain souls, when we meet one another and we group up, we're all here to redeem ourselves, to make the good choice, to talk good about our connection and build profitable enterprises from that with that divinity. That creates angelic empires, and that is what we're here to do. Nithyananda, Bashar, Ramtha, Erich von Däniken, Tsoukalus, Wilcock, Corey Good, Emery, this guy, and many others know about Baalbek, the Gizeh Plateau. Baalbek is the temple in Syria. Göbekli Tepe, Pumapunku, and many other ancient airports that have been shut down because the planetary alignment is off. They show it in the movie Infinity War, where Star-Lord holds a device where it's like the gravity's out of whack, the alignment is out of whack. Well, we used to be these travelers. We do when a planet was in alignment, and we knew and we know when a planet is out of alignment. Look at our weather anomalies that we're having. We need to build these airports again, and not just bubble dome communities in low and zero net housing, which is possible. A crystalline hexagonal platform, 72-degree golden ratio built pyramids out of the material that is required to harness that energy again, new alignment, new adjustment, to welcome interdimensional craft so they can land. So I'm one of the builders that is actually working on that, and with people that have property, where we're putting that stuff together. It will be revealed when it's ready, not before. And it might take years. because it's not like the investors are coming and saying, hey, do what you have to do because it's going to save the planet. Investors are busy with cryptocurrency and how can they speculate to make money. They're not, the conscious billionaire or millionaire is by design karmically here to make moves and gift energy to anyone who can set this up and make it work. So what I learned from the white light to the original golden light and the way home is this, and this is how I'm closing this. The bright white light is a manipulation. It's the last thing that we remember when the Anunnakis wiped us clean, when we were the Easu. That's where the name Jesus and Jesus and an old German slang, Jesus, comes from. Easu means those with the knowledge of Ea. I'm not saying that the Nuburians were all clean, they all had a mess, royal breeding and all that crazy stuff, but they have to fix it. And Ea is one of the ones, the father of Marduk, who has to fix this situation. So, the Easu were kind of like the last ones, like the last Sasquatch in Star Wars. That's part of your DNA. Didn't need language. They were full-blown telepathic and they had a bigger brain. And they are interdimensional. They can walk in and out. Also another story. But here's this. The Easu they were the original race, those who embodied the knowledge of Ea, also those with the original gene codes of Ea, Enki, geneticists, kind of put gene codes in us that help us to remember who we are at some point, because it's kind of like sick and tired of the control of his brother, the Lord of Command. First there was the Word, and the Word was with God. That is Enlil, not God. The Lord of Command on this planet was Enlil. That's where many holy books are based on. Sorry to say, but that's the truth. They copied from Sumerian tablets and older tablets to fabricate their own control mechanism to run what we're actually still running out of, still understanding that. Whatever won't appear, won't be. Whatever will not be, will not be. What will take place, as in memory, will be and manifest. So it is decreed by the law of the spirit world, and so it will unfold, and nothing will stop that. Whether I'm here or 1,000 years from now, this video will be playbacked and people will agree. So the Easu were not controllable. I'm just giving you a fragment. If you want to know the entire story, watch the Terra Papers by Robert Morningsky. 3 hours lecture, mind-blowing. That ties in with the Anunnakis, the 9 planets, the harvesting going on here. Watch Jupiter Ascending. It shows the Reptilian Alliance, the 2 brothers, and the harvesting of planets, because the Nuburians didn't want to die that quick. Because in this realm, different rules, different regulations, and they're trying to cheat death. And you get a little bit of schizophrenic if you want to play the same character over and over and over. That's shown in that movie, Jupiter Ascending. So, to the white and bright light, to bring this to a closure, is Enlil's last attempt to manipulate the human race, your ancestors, 500,000, maybe 1 million years ago, has led the Easu, those with the original knowledge, who picked free partners, no domesticated breeding, freer love, no marital contracts, which came way late in the game. Not a monogamous mind state. They were open to picking the partner that would fit them for their lifespan or their mutual agreement at that time. That's the translation from natives. Okay? So he gathered the Easu, all the wild ones, the uncontrollable slaves that were brown skin, black, and some white, and led them into this tunnel. This tunnel was a part of the Anunnakian base with all bright white lights, a reprogrammed tunnel. And all of the Easu members, which is part of your memory banks, which keeps replaying and replaying, were put on those chairs, strapped in. The bright white lights were turned on. The past life review was played, and they were programmed that they would not transcend this planet and come back so they can be recycled as slaves. And that program was implemented into your soul matrix. That's episoul genetics. That's further out. That is like they went into your Astra and Cosmo Pramana, which goes even further out than Vedic texts even remember, because a lot of scrolls got lost. Nityananda mentioned that, and many other gurus too. There were gurus that knew the CDs, knew the stuff, and then secrets were not translated anymore. Scrolls got lost. Let's say they had 10,000 scrolls. Now maybe we have 1,000, or maybe you have 800 left. Over time, knowledge got lost. You know, the burning down of the Library of Alexandria. A lot of knowledge got lost and destroyed. No more applicable magic. Nobody knows the recipe, and the stuff turns into myth, legend, and folklore, and then laughed at, and then put into a distance far, far away in another galaxy, in another time, and nobody believes in anything anymore. Perfect control. So they all led into this tunnel. They get memory wiped, they get the recycle program, and they put back in slavery. So now when they die, they see the white light, the program keeps replaying, you see your relatives, and you get recycled because you have to come back, and you have to make it better. And you're stuck in this program modulation. And I want to believe that what Robert Morning Sky said there is true. I feel a resonance with this because I've seen this bright white light. It felt artificial. I felt like I'm in this scientific lab. There's something not right. We were memory wiped against our will. Okay? And what we don't know, we can defend ourselves against what we don't know. You have to know the bacteria in order to name it, to get into your autoimmune system, activate it, turn the right frequency on, and kick it out. But if you don't have the awareness, all these colonies can nest in us and free ride and use it as a host, and we run through life with back pain all our life, not knowing we have an inflammation. But nobody ever told us that because it's all protocol and secret controlled and slept on controlled. Meaning there's a prison cell, the guards are gone, but it's self-run. So we run the old principle because we don't know no better. So the wake-up deal is this: installing the original memory to know that there's an original golden light. So if there's something, when you're in these areas, in these realms, or you're dealing with those realms and you don't trust it, trust your gut, turn away, find the golden and warm light. You don't have to review. You go past that, and this is what I can share to end this. When I went through the sun and came back through the sun, back around into my body, all the magic was revealed. Like I felt like a messiah, but I was also scared shitless, pardon my French. And that's for everybody that gets your system turned on too quick. I'm in the street, I see this old lady, and then I see a 10-year-old that's still on the corner somewhere. It's around wartime, and she misses something, and I know what she's missing. And I could go to that lady and say, you know what, it's all good, they're all safe, and they're safe now. All of a sudden, this 10-year-old, like in the spirit attachment, would dissolve in that old lady. The lady would have tears, say, thank you so much, dissolved. I would see spirits standing on the corner waiting for something that will never occur because they're trapped in time. I would tell them to go home. I would see everything would be revealed. I would actually have no time to be by myself. It'll be so powerful. Birds would land on me, butterflies, that's the Buddha effect. And you don't have to sit in one place for 3 months to find that. Find it within you at any time. I realized the sun was this big golden eye looking at me. I'm telling you, I was on for like 5 days and I didn't want to come down. I needed no food. Babies turned into these golden rainbow Buddhas that sat in their little chariot, and they looked at me, and I was hearing the messages, we see you. We know now you have the awareness. You're on your way. And I'm like, holy moly, what's going on? Comes with a lot of responsibility. Then I sat by the river in Berlin. 7 swans came, they paired around me. Dogs sat down. Blind people were looking for me, sitting with me. There was a girl that I think she had Down syndrome. All of a sudden she got clear in my aura, and they were all sitting with me. People looked at me, who's the strange character? All this accumulation of refinement and alignment takes place when you come in. And this is the golden body activation, when you know your way home. And I just wanted to share that story with you. And there's more magic to come, more to be revealed, when you allow the flip side. I love you very much.